The reason why oftentimes we don't say anything is the reason why David didn't say anything is because of assumptions. It's because of assumptions. We oftentimes assume, and therefore we don't say anything. Number one, David assumes that just because everybody's physical needs are met, also their emotional needs are also met. I used to say this was a male thing, but no, it's not anymore. I'm finding out now that we would rather give our children gifts rather than give them ourselves. He makes the mistake of assuming that just because everybody's physical needs are met, so are their emotional needs. He makes the mistake of saying, you got food in the refrigerator, don't you? You got clothes on your back. You got a roof over your head. You should be good. And because he assumes that just because everybody's physical needs are met, so are their emotional needs. Let me ask this question. Have you ever been guilty of ignoring somebody's emotional need just to meet a physical one? Let me say it this way. Have you ever substituted meeting an emotional need by meeting a physical? Assumptions. Oftentimes, we also assume, watch this, they should already know. They should already, they should know that that's crazy. They know. They know that that's wrong. They already know. Not true. Not true, because when you surround yourself with people of like minds, anything that comes up in the group seems plausible, even if it's way off base. And somebody needs to break the cycle of craziness to be able to speak some logic into sanity. So don't assume my son know I love him. I ain't got to say it. My wife knows. She knows. I come home every day. I bring my check. I ain't got to say it. And watch this. We oftentimes assume that they know, but we just a coward and won't say it. Assumption. Here's the third assumption, and then I'll let you go. They assume that their past disqualifies them to speak on a certain issue. Watch this. David understands that throughout my entire life, I had this little lust issue. Had this little lust problem. You know what I mean? Like, there's this one time he and his fellas are on the run from Saul. And he gets into this conflict with this rich guy, Cabal, and through the circumstances, Cabal dies, and David gets his wife. David got a little. Isn't it something when everybody around you know your issue? When David gets real old, you fast forward to the end of his story, and medicine wasn't what it is today. They looking in there, they're like, is the king dead? They said, I don't know, he might be dead. They said, is the king dead? They said, I don't know, the king is dead. Somebody has the bright idea, said, this is what we do. Get a young girl and put in his bed. Because knowing our king, if he ain't dead, he gonna roll over. And it's something when everybody know your issue. That's why you should read your Bible. It's really. And everybody knows him looking over the wall, peeping at the woman taking a bath. Because David has always, and so oftentimes, the reason why we don't say anything is because we assume that our past disqualifies us from speaking to this current issue. I wonder if David thought to himself, maybe I shouldn't say anything to my son raping his daughter because he's too much like his. Let me speak to you real quick. Your past once you acknowledge it properly, doesn't disqualify you to speak into somebody else's issue. Actually, it gives you a greater validity to speak life into certain situations once you acknowledge it as being wrong and trying to move past it. Y'all missed it. Y'all missed it. Because some of us still want to live there. And that's why we realize that we can't speak into it, because we've camped out at the same sin.
Amen.
And so he assumes, maybe, because the Bible doesn't say, maybe David assumes because he's had the same little lust thing himself that I can't really speak to my son's issue. Here, take this. Watch this. Here's the takeaway. When we allow words to go unsaid, we force the people around us to fill in the words with words from their head.